Data analyst job openings exist across industry, government, and academia. Every industry, be it banking and finance, insurance, healthcare, retail, or information technology, has space for skilled data analysts. These roles are as sought after in large businesses as they are in startups and new ventures. According to Forbes, the global big data analytics market that stood at $37.34 billion in 2018 is expected to grow at a compound annual growth rate of 12.3% from 2019 to 2027 to reach $105.08 billion by the year 2027. Currently, the demand for skilled data analysts far outweighs the supply, which means companies are willing to pay a premium to hire skilled data analysts. There's a wide variety of job roles available for data analysts. To understand the career paths open to you, we will broadly classify the roles into data analyst specialist roles and domain specialist roles. Data analyst specialist roles are for data analysts who want to stay focused and grow in the technical and functional aspects of their role. On this path, you could be starting your career as an associate or junior data analyst and work your way up through analyst, senior analyst, lead analyst, and principal analyst roles. The boundaries between these roles, the years of experience that qualify you for the next level, and the nature of experience you need to gain to move up could vary depending on the industry, the size of the organization, and how big your team is. In smaller teams, for example, you could be gaining experience in all facets of data analysis, from gathering data all the way through to visualizing and presenting your findings to stakeholders. And this may happen within a short span of time. In larger teams and organizations, roles may typically be bifurcated based on activity, which means you could be gaining experience in one specific phase of the process before you move to the next. This helps you hone your skills in one part of the process before you move to the next. On your journey from an associate data analyst to a lead or principal data analyst, you will be continually advancing your technical, statistical, and analytical skills from a foundational level to an expert level. You will be demonstrating your ability to work with a wide-ranging set of tools and platforms, different aspects of the data analysis process, and a wide variety of use cases. In terms of technical skills, you may start off knowing just one querying tool and programming language, any one type of data repository, or a limited set of visualization tools. As you gather more experience, you're expected to learn and demonstrate your ability to work with more and more tools, languages, data repositories, and newer technologies. Your communication skills, presentation skills, stakeholder management skills, and project management skills all need to be honed and taken up a notch progressively. As a lead or principal analyst, you may also be responsible for establishing processes in your team, making recommendations for software and tools the team should work on, upskilling the team, and expanding the team to include more profiles. In some organizations, these responsibilities could be aligned with a manager-level person who has risen through the ranks to manage a team of data analysts. Domain specialists, also known as functional analysts, are analysts who acquire specialization in a specific domain and are seen as an authority in their domain, such as HR, healthcare, sales, finance, social media, or digital marketing. They may not be the most technically skilled people. These roles carry titles such as HR analyst, marketing analyst, sales analyst, healthcare analyst, or social media analyst. And then there are the analytics-enabled job roles. These include roles such as project managers, marketing managers, and HR managers. These are jobs where analytics skills lead to greater efficiency and effectiveness. A fair amount of the data analyst job openings are analytics-enabled, as more and more organizations rely on data for decision-making. As a data analyst, you also have options for exploring and learning new skills to gain entry into other data professions, such as data engineering or data science. For example, If you're starting off as a junior data analyst and really like working with data lakes and big data repositories, you can acquire further expertise in these technologies and evolve your career into becoming a big data engineer. If the business side of things excite you more, you could similarly explore the skills required for making a lateral move into business analytics or business intelligence analytics. While the data analyst career landscape is very vast, the good thing is that you have a plethora of resources available to help you grow. To be successful in your journey as a data analyst, all you need to do is grab the opportunities you want to pursue or the ones that present themselves to you and learn along the way.
Technical skill sets like
In this video, we will listen to data professionals talk about how they got into this profession.
My current role as a data professional did not exist before I took the position. I realized that there was a need in our company to provide data in a faster, more efficient manner than going to the IS department, who would have a meeting to discuss the meeting, to have requirements, and then they would have an end product that people weren't satisfied with, but you had to get at the end of the line and go through the whole process again to get what you were looking for. So through filling a need at the company to provide reports in 2 weeks, I put together a company database that has access to more information. We have analysts that are now able to meet that unmet need in the company.
I got into the data professional role by chance. I was actually working on my PhD in economics at University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, when a colleague of mine suggested that a master's in statistics would also be an excellent value add. So that's how I got into the statistics program as well in Illinois. But once I started that, I was pretty hooked and there was no going back, so to speak. So in other words, my original goal of becoming an economist actually evolved into a career filled with data, modeling, analytics, insight gathering, communication, visualization, and of course, underlying all of that, data-driven problem solving.
I got into the data analyst role in a financial data company actually by accident. Back then, my company started to hire equity data analysts in mainland China, and I was very lucky to join the team because they are looking for someone with financial analysis skill sets, which I can bring to the table. And after that, my team started to hire someone with technical skill sets like Python, R, and SQL.
I've always had a love of numbers, and one of the things that happens is when you work with numbers so much, they start to tell a story, and the ability to look at those numbers and tell that story is what speaks to me. And so having always had that love of numbers, I have just been always attracted to data analytics, and whether it's Excel spreadsheets or whether it is QuickBooks or any sort of data sets that can help drive the information that we're looking for, especially in the financial industry when we're looking at profit and loss and balance sheet and what happens when one company buys another company. We're always looking at that data to talk to and speak about the company's history and their future.
I got my current role as a data scientist straight out of my grad program, which was a master's in data science. And before my grad program, I worked as both a data analyst and an analytics manager.
In this video, we will listen to data professionals talk about what employers look for in a data analyst.
Employers look for data analysts with integrity. During the hiring process, I will ask, if you had to choose just one, would you rather meet a deadline or get a right answer. And I'm always looking for someone who would say, I want to make sure that the information is right. Missing a deadline isn't as detrimental as a company making a multi-million-dollar decision on wrong information, or someone losing their job because it wasn't pulled or it wasn't reported correctly. So it's much more important to have integrity.
I think the number one thing employers look for in data analysts is someone who can communicate clearly. If you do the most brilliant analysis in the world, but you can't communicate it to external stakeholders, then it's really not worth anything. So I think that that skill is really sought after. I think another thing that companies obviously look for when they look for data analysts is fluency with numbers, ability to understand complex analyses, ability to understand A/B tests and what the results of A/B tests are saying and the implication of those results. I also think increasingly employers are looking for data analysts with really strong SQL skills. Another thing employers are looking for in data analysts is a growth mindset and willingness to learn, because the industry is changing at a really fast pace.
I think they're looking for the programming skills, including Python, R, SQL, and at the same time, they're looking for some personalities, whether you are detail-oriented, whether you like working with data, and whether you are a problem solver, so on and so forth.
As an employer, I hire people all the time. What am I looking for? We're looking for people who are detail-oriented and who are somewhat overachievers. They don't just want to do what's in front of them. They want to go further. And so we're looking for people who have higher aspirations and who also are able to think outside the box and aren't just going to, if I say do ABC, they're not just going to do that. They're going to do it plus. They're going to do it plus think and give me some alternatives. People who are able to troubleshoot. If something goes wrong, they're not just going to stop and say, oh my goodness, I need to go talk to my supervisor. They're going to say, here's a problem. Here's my thoughts. Here are two possible solutions on how you can resolve this so that the job and the company can keep moving forward. That's what you want. So not just detail oriented and not just good with numbers. You also have to be someone who can think outside the box and be able to problem solve and troubleshoot. That's what employers are going to be looking for now more than ever.
They look for the ability to know data. And by know data, we mean several things, right? Be comfortable with it in various formats, be able to think about it. And by that, we mean know what kind of data you want to solve the problems that are at hand. So the knowing the data skill is very important. Problem solving is another very key skill, meaning if there is a problem presented to a data analyst, they should be able to know how to tackle that problem using data in whatever format it may be sitting in, and being able to analyze it and present the insights that will then solve the problem. They also need to be very dynamic in that if they are presented with a very different kind of data set suddenly, which looks nothing like it did before, they need to be able to adapt to that change. So that's why the quality of being dynamic and adaptable is also important. They also need to be able to pick up technical skills quickly. And by that we mean if there is one kind of SQL paradigm being used in one setting, they need to be able to operate under a different paradigm. If there is a place that's using RStudio, but they know Python, they need to be able to pick up RStudio quickly and that kind of thing. So being able to learn fast, being dynamic, and knowing data, those are the few things that employers do look for in a good data analyst.
There are various paths you can take to gaining entry into the data analyst field. While some employers may ask for an academic degree as a prerequisite, even if you don't have a degree, you still have several options available to you that can help you gain an entry, or even make a lateral move into the field of data analysis. Let's start with the most obvious path. An academic degree in data analytics, statistics, computer science, management information systems, or information technology management can start you off with a strong advantage. You could alternately enroll in online training programs that can equip you with the required knowledge. Comprehensive online programs for data analysis are multi-course specializations offered by learning platforms such as Coursera, edX, and Udacity. These courses are designed and delivered by some of the world's best domain experts. Since you have a fair idea by now of the technical, functional, and soft skills you need in order to be a data analyst, choosing the right learning path should be fairly straightforward. As you gather more work experience, you can keep advancing your knowledge and skills in specific areas. For example, statistics, spreadsheets, SQL, Python, data visualization, problem solving, storytelling, or making impactful presentations. These courses also give you hands-on assignments and projects, which give you a feel for the real-world application of your knowledge and skills. You can even add these projects to your portfolio. So, if you don't have an academic qualification, these courses can help you gain opportunities at an entry level and work your way up as your experience grows. Now let's look at a scenario where you have a couple of years of experience in a different line of work and want to make a switch into the data analysis field. There's a very good chance that you can do that successfully if you plan well. Since data analysis is a vast field, it would be useful for you to first research the knowledge and skills you need, the various job opportunities that are available, and the growth opportunities available on the path you may be considering. You can tap into online resources, forums, and your network of friends and colleagues to connect with people in this field and gain insights into real-world scenarios. If you're currently working in a non-technical role, you may consider exploring the domain specialist or functional analyst path. If you're in sales, you could consider starting your journey by positioning and skilling yourself for a sales analyst position. You begin with the advantage of industry experience and skill yourself in other areas such as statistics and programming, for example. If you're currently working in a technical role, you have the ability to quickly pick up the tools and software you need for the data analyst role. You're also probably stepping in with the advantage of having a good understanding of the domain or industry you're from. For some of the other skills, such as problem solving, project management, communication, and storytelling, you may already be using these in some capacity in your existing job. You can always enhance these skills through trainings, online courses, communities of practice, and forums. Data analysis is a fast-moving field. If you're curious, open to learning new things, and excited about the field, you will be able to forge a path forward, regardless of the formal qualifications you think you may be missing. In this video, we will listen to practicing data professionals talk about the various career options available in this field.
The whole data-related profession today has also become very colorful, very dynamic. Also become data-related profession today has also become very colorful, very dynamic, evolving all the time, and it also presents a lot of range of options to anyone who wants to enter the field of being a data professional. So it ranges from if you were to think of various circles as options, starting with a data analyst, right? From there, you can upskill a lot more, become a data scientist. You can also become a statistician, which is what I was when I first started off. You can then further specialize yourself in a specific direction of data in order to become a data engineer, or you can start by being a BI analyst or a specialist and then go to become a data engineer. So in other words, either you can do a track of data analyst and data scientist, or you can do a track of a BI analyst and a data engineer. So those are kind of parallel tracks within the data profession. You can then also go to the other extreme where you can become a machine learning engineer, an AI engineer, and so on. So there are many such roles, many such roles that anyone interested in the field of data can really take on.
A few of the most common career options available to data analysts is to get deeper into the weeds with machine learning and engineering, and become a data scientist or a machine learning engineer that focus more on machine learning modeling. Another career option available to data analysts is to dive deeper into the business they're in and to inform top-level company strategy. I think that role is really important and interesting and has really evolved in recent years. Another path for a data analyst is to start to become a people manager and manage other data analysts and work to triage what gets worked on, because there's always going to be more questions in the organization that can be answered with data than there are people to answer them. So a data manager role can be really interesting and critical in terms of making sure the most important pieces of work actually do get worked on.
You can be a bookkeeper, you could be an accountant, you could be a CPA, you could be a stockbroker, or a financial analyst for the government, or a lot of large companies. You could be a real estate broker. Lots of people are great data analysts, but to do that, you do have to really like numbers and you have to be really detail oriented. If that's not you and numbers don't jump off the page at you, data analyst might not be the right thing for you.
In this video, we will listen to data professionals giving advice to aspiring data analysts.
One piece of advice I'd give to aspiring data analyst is keep learning and don't get discouraged. There is more that's been written about analytics than you could ever learn in a lifetime. So don't try to learn everything at once, but take your time and make sure every week, every month, every year, you're constantly learning something new. And I think that'll serve you well. One piece of advice I've been given in my career that I found to be really, really helpful is to consider your career like an uppercase T. And you should have broad knowledge. The top of the T represents kind of that you should have broad knowledge in a number of different areas, although it doesn't have to be deep. You should know a little bit, at least, about A/B testing, about machine learning, about data visualization, about SQL, about Python, about R. And then the bottom part of the T is you should go really deep on at least one area. So there should be one area among the ones I just mentioned where you have a really deep, rigorous understanding of it.
It is use every job that you have to your advantage, meaning something can be found from everything. So whether it is looking at your parents' budget or asking your parents if you can see the checkbooks, or if you work at a fast food restaurant, looking at the numbers. How many people are coming in? How many dollars are being turned over? Talk to the manager about what's next, what the numbers actually mean. When you're talking to potential employers, have your examples ready. So it doesn't have to necessarily be just work experience, but your life experience. how have you used analytics even in your personal life? So if you can tell me and talk to me about what you've done personally or professionally and how it relates to what we're doing, that will take you a very, very long way.
Piece of advice I'd give to aspiring data scientists is to build out a professional portfolio that showcases your data science or data analytics skills. And you can do this by looking up fun data sets online and analyzing those data sets. You can also do that within your job. Even if your current job isn't to be a data analyst, look for opportunities where you can crunch numbers, and then that'll just kind of naturally lead you to a nice portfolio or nice wins in terms of data analyst projects.
My advice to an aspiring data analyst is to follow your passion. Find a job that meets your needs and gives you joy during doing it. There's nothing worse than waking up every morning and hating to go to your place of employment. There are so many data analyst jobs in various industries, departments. There's just so many options that there's no need to take a job just to have a job. Find something that really fuels your passion and gives you something to get up every morning for.
In this video, we will listen to women share their experience of being a data professional and their advice to women aspiring to enter this field.
As a woman in data science, I still run up against the stereotype that this is a man's job. I've walked into meetings and had people look disappointed or confused. I take that as an opportunity to prove them wrong. This isn't a job just for men. It's for a person who has the insight, the ability, and the drive to get the job done. And as long as you possess those skills, then there's no reason why anyone can't do anything that they put their mind to. Whether you're a male or a female, whether you're white or black, you have the opportunity to prove people wrong by the work that you produce.
I would say it can be tough, but you have to find your voice and don't be afraid to use it. A lot of times as women, we're not able to find our voice or speak up, or we're afraid of how people are going to treat us if we speak up. But, it's more important that you be heard and seen, not just being loud and wrong, but if you have the data to back it up, if you have good content and things you want to say, don't be afraid to raise your hand and let people know that you are a thinker and that you can get this done, because that's going to be important as you progress. And the only real way to get ahead is drive, and people don't know you have drive if you're too quiet. And so if you're just quietly working away in the corner, a lot of times people can't see it. So speak up. Make sure your voice is being heard. Make sure you are being seen as a woman who knows how to grow and how to help in the data science field.
When I started, it was mostly men in my class, especially back in grad school. But now I'm seeing that data teams, both data science and data engineering teams, are filled with a lot of women as well. So I would advise women to continue upskilling, so that they're able, if they are fond and if they like, a career filled with programming, data, and problem solving, then they should continue building their technical skill set so that they can represent themselves in the landscape of a data professional as strongly as is possible.
Don't allow your gender to be a crutch. Still go hard, put in the work, and show the world your amazing talents. There are no roles that are set aside for specific genders. If you're fortunate enough to work in a profession that you thoroughly enjoy, then go for it.